What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to look at the FansToys Smokey, their version of a masterpiece Dragstrip. So this is the next in the line in the Stunticons. We're of course excited to get more of these figures. Let me just show the box. I don't usually show, I did show an image of it, but this is thanks to the artist Johannes Vinci, well known in the community. He does these drawings, very beautifully done. Thank you for that artwork. Here is the figure. And man, I'm going to have to try to withhold my excitement and not be too gushy over this guy. But let's talk about a couple things before we even get started. First of all, you get the collector's card here. And nice image of Smokey there on the front. Here's the back. It does say FansToys 2020, even though this came out in 2021. Here's the back. Here's his tech specs. You got a nice long write-up there, which you can read on your own. Also, out of the box, he does have some slight mistransformations. So, number one is these kneecaps. These little panels, these tabs are folded downwards. So you do have to open this up, like so. And then that'll allow you to peg in the kneecap. Right? The other thing that potentially is mistransforms, these wheels will be folded upwards, so you just want to fold those downwards like that. And also the ears, they came folded inwards like this, so you're just going to fold those outwards like that. Right, and then you should be good to go with Smokey. Here he is. Let's take a quick 360. We'll put the G1 cartoon over there so you can see how he looks, stacks up next to him. Of course, pretty darn close to the cartoon. Really almost no backpack at all. Really well done. Everything folds inside. There is a secret surprise in here that I will talk about in just a minute. But overall, really well done. There are multiple shades of yellow. It's very hard to catch on this camera. Let's see if I can getting close. You can see there's a darker yellow around here on this part of the body. On the feet here there's a darker yellow, and then on the actual vehicle mode there's some dark yellow, and then up here. So that shows up a little bit more in the vehicle mode, but you do have the darker and lighter yellows. Unfortunately, under bright light it's a little bit harder to see. Let me see if I turn off a light. Yeah, you can see it a little bit better there. So I do like the two-tone colors. It's not as the difference between the two colors is not as marked as it is on the X-Transbots. We will bring in the X-Trans for a quick comparison, but we're not going to do a full-blown comparison. We'll have a whole separate video for that so we can compare the X-Transbots and the FansToys. But continuing on, I really like the details on the chrome. So you got the chrome wheels here, you got the chrome here. That all shows up nicely. You have gold die cast for the elbows. You have one piece of gold die cast here, but nothing here. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, but that's really intended for the combined mode. All right. So all in all, pretty clean. There are some screws back here. I don't really mind them. I don't care about this, but there are some screw holes if that bothers you. Let's get in on the head sculpt so you can take a look at how that looks. So there is the head sculpt. Really nicely done. It's the metallic paint that's making it just stand out. You do get an alternate face here, and that's like a smirking face. That looks really nice. So in order to swap out that face, go ahead and you're going to pull up on this helmet. That just pops off, and then you can take this face off right there, and then go ahead and take the other alternate face, which I really like, and then put his helmet back on. It'll only go one way, so you know how it goes. And there's the alternate face. And love that smirk. I think that's just such a good choice for an alternate face. You do also get two other accessories, which of course are the guns. They are identical. They are painted purple. Nicely sculpted, nicely detailed. Very well done. And these fit right in the hand just like any other FansToys figure. And there you go, with both guns in his hands. Looks really nice. I love that they gave you two. It was something that bugged me on the X-Transbots, only because they showed pictures with it, and then when you got him, he didn't have it. But beautiful weapons. The final accessory you get is the driver, which of course is not meant for this mode, but there is a secret storage location. It's not in the manual, and the manual is not great, to be honest. So here's the little driver. I'll give you a close-up now so that we can take a look at this. Nice yellow paint, nice pearlescent white, and then a black, and then red stripes. Looks really nice. But it does store in this robot mode, so go ahead and open up this top panel here. And then we're going to unpeg his side. So basically pull back on here. It'll release that tab there. And then you can lift up this entire piece out of the way. And you can see there's a cavity in there. And this guy just fits perfectly in that cavity, just like that. And then once you get that in there, you can close up this panel. So go ahead and close this. Again, make sure you get this around and fitted properly. And close up this panel here. Make sure you have this pegged in back here, and then you can see the driver fits right back there in his back. You can have it kind of oriented different ways, but there you go. And then close this up. And there we have driver storage. And he fits in there nicely. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it does seem to fit in there. Let's go over the articulation on this guy. I did take out one gun just so we can take a look at the articulation. So the head is on a ball joint. A little bit limited on its articulation. It goes up to there, down to there, not a lot of down. I thought maybe that neck rotated, but it doesn't. It's just the head. And it does rotate all the way around, and you can move the ears in and out, although I would argue you probably want those all the way out. The shoulder rotates all the way around. It goes up to there on this joint. You can also use this transformation joint if you wish to get, and it's ratcheted, so you can get that shoulder way up there if you wanted to. That's a cool little hidden feature. You have a rotation at the bicep, goes all the way around. You can articulate these wheels up and down. I think they look best down, but that's your choice. You get a 90-degree bend at the elbow. I feel like that could have been double jointed, but it's not double jointed. I do like the gold in there. A rotation at the wrist, fully articulated fingers. The thumb is on a ball joint, and then each finger is individually articulated, just like all the other FansToys stunning cons we've gotten so far. You have a rotation at the waist. Rotates all the way around freely. There is no ab crunch. You can potentially fake it by opening this up. And then bending right here, but it really isn't meant to have an ab crunch. Just due to the transformation, it does lock in place. So we're going to say this does not have an ab crunch. You can kind of trick it, but I don't think untransforming it to get articulation equals no articulation. All right, continue on. You have a hip skirt here. Leg rotates up to there, back to there, out to there, all in friction. You have rotation at the thigh. You have a 90-degree bend at the knee, gets you up to there. You have a ankle tilt all the way up to there. You do have a toe tilt if you want it. You can disconnect this from here, and then you can use that as a toe tilt. I prefer to leave it connected, but you can do that if you like. And there is Smokey with his teammates, the rest of the Stunnicons. They are roughly the same size. I mean, pretty much the same height. One thing that I know people were potentially concerned about is the weight of how are they going to hold up the weight of this guy. So let's take a quick weight so you guys can see. So Smokey is 12 ounces, a little over 12 ounces. And for comparison, Spoiler is 11 ounces. And Magnum is 12 ounces. So they're all around 12 ounces, give or take. So I guess you could say there's no difference in terms of materials. He does feel pretty heavy. It's a lot of die cast, pretty much the same as the other. Just for a size comparison, here they are with a Takara Tomy Carbot, and obviously the X-Transbots is about the same size, whereas the FansToys towers over him. Okay, now let's get Smokey transformed into his vehicle mode, and it is actually a fun and somewhat simple transformation, and I will be showing the parts that you want to be careful with. So let's go ahead and start on the legs. Go ahead and take this panel here and open that up. That's going to allow you to take the hips and get those down, and then you're going to take this and peg it back in so that it locks that in place. All right, now I'm going to work on each leg individually. Go ahead and take this panel here on the side. Make sure you do this one first. This is a simple transformation, but you do want to do it in the right order. So take this panel, fold that down. Then take this panel and fold that out, and that's going to open up his leg so you can see what's going on in here. Go ahead and take his foot, fold that down. It's going to unpeg from here, so the toe is going to unpeg from the foot. Open up this panel, and that's going to allow you to accordion this foot down. And then you want to rotate this whole thing downwards, and it should sit flat like that, right? With this part sticking backwards. Next, you're going to take this tire piece and pull that out of its little cavity there, and that's going to push back in on this side right here. So go ahead and do that. And you can actually just close this leg up to make it a little bit easier for yourself. So go ahead and accordion this down and then close that up. And then you have a little bit less stuff in your way, and you can close this up as well. That tabs into the side. All right, now that you got that, we need to rotate this wheel, and it's kind of hard to get to. You can use this little plastic tab to move it, but once it gets to the middle, it's hard to reach. So you kind of have to grab here. I like to grab here and here and rotate that tire. It is a little tough though, so just be careful with it. Don't force anything. You know, do it cautiously. Once you get that tab, you can pull that all the way down, and you should have that straight vertically like that. All right, now make sure you push this into its slot there, so it should slot into the back of the leg. So next you're going to take this foot. Make sure you don't have this fold all the way down, otherwise you won't be able to clear that tab. So lift this up just a little bit, and then you can clear that. Fold the foot all the way in, and this is going to peg into the back of his tire. And there you go, there's the foot pegged in. It should be nice and smooth, and should have that shape going on. Last thing you do here is go ahead and take this knee. There's a little ridge here, so if you want to stick a fingernail, or you could use a spudger, get this knee down. That's going to peg into the bottom here, and then fold this tab down. And that's one leg done. So we're going to do the other leg off camera, basically exactly the same, and we'll talk about how to peg them together. Now we got both legs transformed. You're going to want to have these pegged together, but you want to leave the top a little bit open and close the bottom up. So that's my recommendation, because later we're going to have a step where we want these to be not all the way together. So just get the bottom tab together and leave the top a little bit of gap there. Okay? All right, now we're going to work on the upper body. Upper body is, again, relatively simple. Go ahead and open up these. You can see we still have the driver in there, so we're going to have to take that driver out. Go ahead and fold the arm up, push back on here. That'll allow you to release this piece. And you can fold that up. Go ahead and take the driver out if you haven't already, or if you didn't put it in there, then you don't have to worry about that. Go ahead and take this piece and rotate it like that, and that's going to be the front spoiler. Same on this side, rotate that out. And make sure you have it in this position. All right, next we're going to come to the front. Make sure you fold these ears in, otherwise you're not going to be able to fit the head. Then rotate these to the front, and these parts are going to fit down on top of his head. And then you're going to take these arms. I'm going to take care of these arms now. So go ahead and open up this panel right here. Rotate at the bicep. Come to the back here. Make sure you rotate the hand. You get the flat part facing upwards, accordion down, and then you're going to close this up. Make sure you have the right angle here. You got to have everything all lined up, otherwise you're going to have a little bit of trouble closing this up. You got to have that tab in, and it's going to tab in on this side as well. So make sure you've got that angle right. And last, take this wheel and rotate that up. Right. So go ahead and do the same thing on this side. Now that we have both arms transformed, we can get them attached, and they're going to accordion down on that shoulder joint that we had earlier. So just move it down slowly, little by little, and you can see there's a tab right here, and that's going to go underneath and up and into here. So you got to kind of work it down into that position. At the same time, you've got a tab on the inside of this wheel that's going to peg into his body here. So get that pegged in. And then get this one pegged in. Make sure you've got that really pushed in. It's pretty tight, but it should look something like that. Same on this side. Rotate this down. Get that pegged in. And get the wheel pegged in to the side. All right, now for this front part, make sure you don't close those up just yet. You're going to slide this down on this slider onto the top here. Same on this side. Slide this down. On the back here, there is a tab that's an over-under, so it's got to get inside that area there in order to get attached. Now you can come to the front and close these up. If it doesn't close, that means that you've closed up this panel too far. So open it up a little bit, and then you should be able to close that up like that. All right, and make sure you've got that all squeezed in. All right, and the last step here is to get this collapsed down. This is a little bit tricky. So first off, make sure you have this angled outwards. These two tabs are what's going to be the hardest part. Go ahead and lift this up, this piece here. So that's going to allow clearance for the steering wheel to come through. So make sure you get that steering wheel all the way through. And then these arms are going to tab in right here. So get those in. You'll see there's two tabs there and there. And then this part is where it's a little bit tricky. So you got to get this pushed in past, got to get this pushed in past these tabs here. Well, at the same time, you want to leave them out just a bit so you can get them tabbed in. So go ahead and push that inside, push that inside, and it is a tight fit. So if you're having a little bit of trouble, you might want to push these back down. Sometimes those pop out. All right, give this a nice squeeze to get that in there on both sides. Go ahead and take this engine piece. That's going to accordion back and it's going to tab in. Oh, actually, before we do that, let's make sure you push all this together. It should have no gap here and no gap between the legs here. Right? I wouldn't push on the wheels. I just don't want to break those parts. So I push here and I push here. And then go ahead and take this piece. There's 4 tabs. They're going to sit in there and that pegs in very securely. And the final touch here in vehicle mode is to go ahead and fold these exhausts. You get the quad exhaust there on the back. And there we have Smokey all transformed up into his vehicle mode. This is just absolutely beautiful. I can't even hold back my opinion here. It does have a two-tone. It might be hard to see on my camera here, but let me turn off one light. And you can see you've got sort of a darker yellow here along the top, a lighter yellow here on this surface, darker yellow here on the front, darker yellow on this spoiler. And all in all, it looks really nice. Here, let's take this one too. Hopefully you can see those color differences. It does have a cockpit there. You got that steering wheel in there. You got the chrome engine here. They put the QC sticker here. I kind of want to move that. I'll probably take that off and move it. You have really nice squishy rubber, not squishy, but sticky rubber tires like you would expect on a Formula One car. It rolls amazingly. It's a nice heavy chunk. Yeah, it just looks great. Here's the front. You have that stripe down the middle. All in all, pretty well done. I do like the chrome wheels. I do like the way they've done the tires and the wheels. It really looks professional. You can take the driver and seat him in here. It is a little bit tough to get him in there. There's a driver. I showed you that earlier. That can fit right up around the steering wheel. You got to give it a little bit of a push, but I'm a little bit scared to break this driver. But he does need a kind of a firm push to get him in there. There you go. So now he's in there. Excellent, excellent looking driver. I love the way this looks in there. That white with the yellow vest, just beautiful. Another feature of this vehicle mode is you can get the weapons stored. You can see there's a little tab right there on the top here, and there's a slot on the bottom of the gun. So that's going to peg in and then slide in to the back here. Go ahead and get those pegged in. And that's what it looks like pegged in. And go ahead and do the same on this side. Get pegged in the top. And that looks even better. I mean, it's just a beautiful vehicle mode. But I love that they have the weapon storage. I love that they have the storage for the driver in the robot mode. That's cool. I didn't think they actually had that, but that was a neat little find. And here is the whole team together. And what a rewarding experience to have all this whole set. They really do look good. All of them are really beautiful in vehicle mode. And Smokey is no exception. It's just definitely a nice set to have finally together. And for a more standard comparison, there is with MP10 and the TE01B Black Optimus Prime. And he does look good with this this scale, although it does appear a little bit wider than most of the Autobot cars, but overall fits in well with the Masterpiece Collection. So final thoughts on Smokey. I think FansToys nailed this character. They really made it a beautiful figure to look at in both vehicle and robot mode. The accessories are appropriate. I love that you get two guns. You get this really nice smirking face, which looks awesome. It fits in well with the rest of the crew. It's good quality. I don't have any issues transforming. It transformed 3 or 4 times, and no paint issues, no transformation issues. There's a couple places to watch out for, especially in these knee areas. You know, make sure you fold these down first. Also down here, when you're getting this feet in, just be careful with those rotational parts. But other than that, I have no issues, no complaints. I really think they nailed this figure. So I highly recommend it if you can get him. I got this from Toy Dojo, my channel partner. Unfortunately, he is sold out at Toy Dojo, and pretty much anywhere you look, you will have to wait for a reissue. Toy Dojo will likely get a reissue in the future. Otherwise, you're going to be paying those aftermarket prices, which are pretty high right now for FansToys, so I would probably recommend waiting until they reissue it. That's really it for today. I will have a Versus with the X-Transbots version of Dragstrip. That'll be coming up right after this one, possibly within a few days of releasing this video. So that's really it for today. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.